Chapter 6. By the 5-month mark, I was released from the hospital and into the care of my parents. From there, the real retraining began. This was personal to me now. I had a squishy ball I would squeeze endlessly while talking to myself, or the wall full of posters and pictures of all our favorite shared things. It motivated me. And it's not as crazy as it sounds, I promise. I would sit on a Bosu ball, rolling from heel to toe, practicing my balance. An earbud stuffed into one ear while I listened to vowels and repeated each sound until my version didn't piss me off anymore. Good thing the squishy ball was softish, or there would have been 1,000 holes in each wall by the time I finished that process. Then, it was on to sentences. My lazy, slurred words made me so sour. And I felt bad, but my poor mom got most of the abuse I was aiming at myself. She was the only other person I saw multiple times a day, always peeking her head in with something for me to eat or drink. I was such a B-word. It wasn't surprising that my dad started spending most of his time at the shops. Knock, knock. Mom, you didn't have to say it out loud. I heard the actual knock. Jesus, I'm not a baby. Seeing the hurt on her face made me feel better in a twisted sense. It was like a piece of me felt maybe we identified on that note. I was in pain. I wanted someone to understand, to come to my level. It wasn't until later in the day, after I'd assaulted her verbally more than once, that I'd sit, eyes pinned to the ceiling, unable to sleep, that a trickle of guilt would work its way past my hard walls. After another 6 months, I'd soured the space with my bad attitude completely. I would spend most of my time locked away in my room still, like a little cave troll. The fine motor skills had mostly returned with endless hours of practice. For a period, in the space of a day, I might have 100 crumpled pages torn from whatever notebook I was currently working through, and strewn all over the floor. Desk, basically everywhere but my little trash can. God forbid I'd picked up after myself. I couldn't even fathom it. But somehow magically by the time I woke up, they were nowhere to be found. In my room, miraculously cleaned and put back together from the shitstorm I'd thrown the day prior. In those moments, not a piece of me could fathom how deep my appreciation should be. I was too angry. You need to stop babying her, Shirley. She has to figure this out. She's turning into a tyrant. David, you know better. She's suffering. We all are. It's putting a wedge between you and me. Can't you see that? We have to figure something else out. Maybe she just needs a little independence. This isn't working, and I think you know it. When was the last time you did something nice for yourself, darling? Tears of anger and frustration poured in as I listened to one of many muffled arguments seeping through the otherwise thick walls of our house. The vents carried all secrets. I was recovering, not deaf. It mostly hurt because he wasn't wrong. I was a tyrant. I was a pain in the ass. All the gratitude I'd felt over my progress while walking out of those hospital doors had burnt away into aimlessness. At a certain point in my progression, I got lost, and couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Every day felt the same. Like that movie, The Groundhog's Day. Maddie loved that one. In those moments, the dream that had shifted my perspective had been just that, a dream. Not a premonition or a visitation, because nothing felt magical to me. All I could see was the endlessness of my recovery process. The few times I'd left the house on brave days, I scurried back with my tail between my legs after the first encounter with another human being. I couldn't stand the way they looked at me. Everybody knew my story. The charm of a small town kinda runs out when you're its only relevant pariah. What a lonely place, that spotlight. What did I have to look forward to under that impression? I started to realize pretty quick I would always be stuck under that cloud of judgment if I stayed, surrounded in whispers. It's that Kensington girl. I always knew she'd amount to no good. It wasn't all bad until I started to see the looks of pity in my own parents' eyes. I couldn't live like this. That's when the burning desire to start fresh began. The one that led me here. The one that brought me to the Emerald City. And an adventure so beyond me, I never could have imagined it.